Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today's the day. The rumors have been substantiated. The truth is out there, and we saw it with our own eyes. Eric Bienemy is now the enemy of the rest of the NFL because he is our offensive coordinator, our assistant head coach. You saw him say it. You saw Ron say it. This was not some Twitter report. This was not some rumor. This is actual factual stuff. And yet people are still complaining. What did he say that was so wrong? What did he say to turn people off? Let's find out. We're going to go point by point through Eric Bienemy's press conference next.
Be where your feet are. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Command This. That was filmed the intro. I'm your boy Steve, and we got Dev live and direct. It's February 23rd. And tonight we're going to react to the Eric Bienemy press conference that happened early this morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast. Dev and I have seen most of this. Phil has not seen this. But what we're going to do is we're just going to watch it, react, talk about it. Be sure to put your comments and thoughts down in the chat as we're still going on along with this, because we're going to hear your thoughts too. It was quite a good event. I was extremely, extremely impressed. We won't get a reaction from Phil right now, but Dev, just off the cuff, what was your immediate reaction after listening to this morning?
Steve, I felt like Eric Bienemy won a lot of fans. If you had anything negative or any kind of other thoughts going into Bienemy being a Washington Commander member, then a lot of those things were kind of put to rest. It felt like almost a head coach press conference. It didn't feel like a.
It did.
It felt like Suge Knight. The best I could describe it, it felt like Suge Knight when he said, "Welcome to Death Row." That's what it felt like.
Yeah, and I feel like, and we'll get into it in just a second. When it was done, I felt like, man, this guy's going to reunite the Washington fan base. And all I could think about was the Wu-Tang song, Reunited. Reunited, WLP world excited, struck a match to the underground industry ignited. Like, that's what I was thinking after the song. I mean, after the press conference was over, it was like, man, I wasn't expecting that. But
by the way, Steve, Steve, the Wu-Tang Clan saga season 3 is out now on Hulu. Very good. They're on tour in this season. Pretty damn good, man. You need to get on that.
Go. All right, without any further ado, let's just get right into it. Ron Rivera leads us off, and he introduces Eric Bienemy. Let's go.
Our offensive coordinator process is ended. We've got our guy. It's a very long process for the most part, and that was on purpose. We wanted to be very thorough. We wanted to get the opportunity to meet a lot of these guys. That's what we've worked on.
Word.
A lot of qualified candidates, a lot of good candidates, guys that we really got to talk with and spend some time. We tried to do that the right way. But we took our time on purpose because we wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to visit with all the candidates. And Eric Bienemy
was
just
Super
happened
Bowl.
to be very busy at the time. So we really truly feel
we
found
busy.
the right guy. We found a guy that we believe can step up and be the guy that we're looking for. He's going to be our offensive coordinator, our assistant head coach. And we're going to go from there as far as those are concerned. I know you guys have a lot of questions, so I want to go ahead and introduce to you guys Eric Bienemy.
First of all, happy Thanksgiving.
No Dan tonight. He crushed it.
A little height challenge here.
Eric Bienemy looks like a
good
toad.
Afternoon. First and foremost, let me just say this.
Baby Shaq.
It was an amazing 10 years having the opportunity to work for the Chiefs organization. So it goes without saying. I like to
Shout
thank
out Chiefs.
Clark Hunt and the whole entire Hunt family. Love to thank Mark Donovan, our team president with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep.
Brett Veach and his staff. And
Yep.
of course, Coach Reed.
Coach
It's been an
Reed.
amazing journey.
That's the linkage.
Getting to this point and having the success that we've had over the years. But now it's time for a new challenge. And looking at these guys up front, Eric Bienemy is fired up. He's fired up.
Pause right there.
Yes, go ahead.
So I did read. I didn't get to watch this, but I did read a lot of reports about this. Apparently, there was
Did you see who was
ton
in the
of
front row?
players up front.
Yeah. All the receivers were there, I think.
All the receivers. There was defensive personnel there.
There was.
So you can tell the players are behind this move. That is already a good foot to start on. They know Bienemy's reputation. He's a tough coach.
Yeah.
That's why that's why Shady McCoy's out there trying to slander the man's name.
Yep.
Shady doesn't like him. Shady didn't never like Bienemy because Bienemy didn't, I don't know, treat him like an all-pro, even though he hadn't been one for a while.
Yeah.
But the players know this man's reputation. You know what? They say, you know what? This is how you win. Rivera, Del Rio, these are guys who are hard coaches. They're not ridiculously stupid hard, but they practice these guys hard. That they're known for that. So I think Bienemy is actually a good fit in that regard, and the players will respect that.
Yeah, that's right. Terry was the first one there, and as Sam Howell walked in, he was like pointing at the seat right there, and then the rest was history. Let's keep going.
You guys will figure that out real soon. I also like to thank Jason, my man Mayhew, Stokes, and Coach Rivera for giving me this opportunity.
He's got the linkage
to
Mayhew and Stokes.
Accept this challenge, but also I'm just looking forward to helping us to climb to the next level.
There we go.
One thing you guys gonna learn about me, I'm gonna bring some energy, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it.
Energy.
But there's a journey that needs to be done, and we'll start that process. So with that said, I'm all ears.
See, not bad for his first initial words, right? Pretty good.
Right.
He kept it short and sweet too.
Short and sweet.
I've seen dudes get this spot and they're going on and on and on.
That was it. Philosophy, bam, questions, go.
First question. I thought you would be the first, Miss Nikki, since
Nikki
you jammed me up at the Super Bowl.
Eric, John Keim, ESPN. Why Washington? What appealed to you? What appealed about this job to you?
Why not Washington? Look at all the talent.
Stop.
Bam.
Hashtag, why not Washington?
That's all I need to hear.
That's our new hashtag. People giving him so much shit for leaving the Kansas City Chiefs. Why not Washington? Look at all the talent I have right here. Look at that. Look at the banners we have right here. Top and bottom. Why not Washington?
I love
that.
it.
Sold me, Phil. I was fired up when I saw that.
I heard that one. That one I heard about too. And I had said that. That had actually been my response to people like, why would he come to DC? I said, why not?
Yeah.
Why not us? And that's a mantra that has won a lot of championships with teams that people didn't expect to be good. Why not us?
Why not us?
That's a question that when you ask yourself that question, you go, there's no reason why not. That's a mentality, people.
It is.
Love it.
Facts.
Love it.
Look at the players that they have.
Look at the players.
Okay. Look at the guys that they have on defense. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I've known Coach Ron now since 1999. So relationships mean something. I've known Coach Mayhew for a number of years, and that means something. I've known Mr. Stokes for a number of years. And so I have no doubt about what they're building here. Obviously, they went to the playoffs in the previous year. So they were basically real close this year of going. So I have never, ever backed down from a challenge. So I'm embracing this challenge. I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm excited when it's time to start talking ball with these guys, to start getting to work. But when it's all said and done with, why not Washington?
I do want to point out real thing.
He knew because he said it again. He knows what he's doing.
I think it was pre-planned. I don't care. It's fantastic. And they did make this a point, at least I think I heard it 4 times and then twice afterwards. I can't wait to start talking ball when we are allowed. Like they kept saying that out there. when it's legal. He just said it now. When it's legal.
He said that to Terry.
Yes, when we are
Afterwards. I
allowed
saw
to.
that clip.
Yeah,
Right.
I bet that's probably something they were advised to say. Smart, whoever prepped him on that one.
Feel like if you wanted to elevate
John
to
Keim.
being a head coach one day, that you had to make this kind of a move to kind of put your own full stamp
See,
on
already starting.
Being a head coach right now is not in my thought process. Right now, here's what I'm focused on. I'm focusing on being the best coach that I can be today. Okay.
Already trying to figure out, why did you leave the Chiefs? Why are you leaving the Chiefs? Aspiration. He's like, stop. I'm trying to be the best coach I can be right now. And John Keim doesn't have a bad bone in his body, but somebody had to ask it. And his
John Keim wanted to get that question out before everyone else.
And probably so. You notice how they gave him the first question. I guess he's no, they gave him the second question.
He's the most balanced guy.
Yeah.
The rest of everything else will take care of itself starting tomorrow. I live in the moment. Okay. So I got to be implanted. And Nikki know exactly what I'm about to say. I got to be where my feet are. So right now, my feet are planted right here.
Coach Ron's statement.
Thanks
Loves
for
it.
that. Just Nikki Jabala, first of all, with the Washington Post. Generally, what is your vision for this offense?
My vision is this. I just want to make sure that these guys understand that there's a way in which I know how to do it. But on top of that, I got to make sure that I'm putting these guys in the best situation to be the most explosive, the most dynamic, and also, more importantly, giving us the best opportunity to be successful. So that's one thing, okay? But when it's all said and
shots fired, Scott Turner.
Explosive?
Pow, pow, pow.
Putting your guys in the best position to win.
And that's what a coach's job is.
Dynamic and explosive. We had a coach who tried to put square pegs into round holes constantly.
That's a coach's job. Put your players in position to succeed. Skeet, skeet, skeet.
God
Scott Turner.
Damn it, I love that one. Thank you.
Now, there were people on Twitter who were upset, like, well, why didn't he really give his true philosophy? Like, dude, come on. He's not going to say, well, we're going to run a version of Andy Reid's East West Coast offense. We're going to do. No, it was a good response. Okay. Well, there's plenty more of that to come. Don't worry.
This is not the place for that.
It's not. Introductory press conference.
done with, we're going to do this. We're going to play hard. We're going to play fast. We're going to have a sense of urgency and a sense of purpose in everything that we do.
Urgency.
And that's where it starts. Okay. And it's all about being accountable as well.
Accountable.
Understanding the fact that indirectly we all impact each other's lives. So it's my job to make sure I'm doing what is right by them. But on top of that, they got to make sure that they're doing right by each other. So my envision right now is making sure that process take care of itself. The X's and O's will take care of itself. These guys, they know football. Okay. They understand football. These guys are professional players for a reason. Okay. Now, only thing that's going to change, the verbiage may change.
There you go.
Some of the route concepts, the way we term them may change. But when it's all said and done with, it's football. And if we love what we do, we'll have the success that we need to have, as long as we're investing in it the right way.
I will point out real quick on Twitter last week, on Twitter, Jordan Talmu, I mentioned it last week just to rehash this. He was on 106.7 A Fan, and he mentioned that Eric Bienemy calls plays different because he calls the play first, formation second, and it helps young players who don't know the playbook. Eventually, with enough reps, they know the play. The formation just comes that much quicker to them, and they already know what the formation is before the play is done being called. So that was a pretty cool concept. Figure out to throw that back out there.
Eric, Matt Paris from the Washington Times. Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Matt?
Just curious, over the last couple of days, or when you were interviewing for the job, what did you kind of try and tell Rivera and everyone just why you were the right guy for the job, and what was kind of the message that you wanted to get across?
Well, more than anything, it was just an opportunity to spend time with everyone and just visiting with Coach Rivera, visiting with the entire staff, and just taking my time and just getting to know people. I think more than anything, when you come into an environment, the best thing that you can do is just listen. And so I'm a great listener. I love to hear what is taking place. I love to hear some of the, the coaches, the assistant coaches, and what they've done with these particular players and what they've done here as over the past few years. And sometimes just listening, you have an opportunity to learn and observe. And so that was the biggest thing for me, more than anything, just listening and having an opportunity to get to know the people. Because when it's all said and done with, I know a lot of people don't like this, but this is a people's business.
People.
You got to be able to get to know
There you
the
go, Phil.
people. All right. And that's going to be my job, fellas. You're going to understand this when I say this. It's my job to making sure that I can get to know the people so I can get the best out of the player.
You know that he's also talking to his players at the same time, which is
I was
pretty
about to say this. It's almost like he's taking this opportunity to let these guys know now.
right. It's pretty cool.
Expect this.
Pretty cool.
He's not going to wait till mini camp
Yeah.
to have this conversation. It's like, look, you know when we can talk football, but until then, here's what you need to keep in mind to prepare yourself for what I'm going to bring to this table and I'm going to be asking of you.
Because it's coming.
I like that because you know what? It's putting it creates more of a we than a me.
Yeah.
I like
not a my way or the
I
highway.
like this,
thing.
and I think he is. Now, granted, we don't know. We only hear things about how he is behind closed doors,
Right?
And it is a little different. But Bienemy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Everything he's doing here, every way he's answering the question, there is a purpose behind what he's trying to convey, either to the media, to the players, or both. And I think that is very important because we are setting the tone now. Because this is a make or break season for everybody.
It is.
We got new ownership coming in, everything. All right. This is make or break for everybody. So if you're going to set that tone, you need to do it now. Get it established before anything else happens.
Right? Meow. Let's go.
Hey, Eric, Sam Fortier with the Washington Post. When did this job get on your radar, and how would you describe the process of getting here today?
Well, the job, it was on my, I shouldn't say it was on my radar because obviously we've had a number of things we had to take care of over the past few weeks.
Super Bowl.
But knowing Coach Rivera, you're always in contact with the people that you've known for years. I followed Coach Rivera's career since our days when we were together with Philly. Obviously, he coached with the Chargers. He's done a number of things. Obviously, he had a great deal of success with Carolina as a head coach, and now he's here. And so you always follow the people that had an impact on you. And so my whole thing is that, you know, these guys have given me this opportunity. And so I'm looking forward to sharing this space today and looking forward to working day by day and getting ready to chop this wood that we're going to start chopping here soon.
And specifically, what are the main differences and responsibilities from KCOC to OC here?
Well, the difference is this, that now I'm the offensive coordinator here, okay? The rest of the stuff, me and Coach Rivera, we're going to work that out. I'm just excited and fired up about the opportunity of getting to work with these men up front.
Once again, talking to them.
Hey, Eric.
That's the second time the media was prodding him about the difference between Kansas City and here. That's twice. You know, what's the difference between that and this? And he's like, the difference is I'm the offensive coordinator for Washington now. And we'll work the rest out later.
Eric, Pete Haley with NBC. You keep referencing a lot of the players who are here. Just what are some of your general thoughts about the roster and the talent that's available?
Good question, Pete. Good question.
Personally, I have a lot of thoughts. And I can sit here and point out all the great things that some of these guys have done throughout their career. But that's not important right now. What's important is this. I got to evaluate every player on this roster, and I haven't had an opportunity to do that, okay? A lot of these guys I've talked to at the Combine, I've followed their careers, and obviously we've played against each other, so I've had an opportunity to watch some of these guys play. So obviously there's some talent here, but I'm going to do my job with Mr. Mayhew. On top of that, with Coach Rivera, Marty Herney, and Stokes, just making sure that we're doing the right things and making sure that we're evaluating and doing what is right for the organization, for the team moving forward.
And a lot was made maybe about how Andy called the plays in Kansas City. What was your role necessarily? But here you're going to be the main guy. How do you anticipate that? And do you think that is going to be a challenge, or is that something you're really ready for?
3 times.
Fired up and excited.
Fired up and excited.
Michael Phillips from Richmond. Did you have a chance to talk to ownership during this process, and did you get any questions answered about the sale process and how that impacts things?
So Coach Rivera was the lead person in this hiring process, obviously. I had an opportunity to spend time with Mr. Wright and Mr. Mayhew, just like I said. But when it's all said and done with all that stuff, that's not my job title, okay? Those guys will take care of that.
Thank you.
NBC Sports Washington.
He keeps referring to Stokes. Is he talking about the Stokes who took over for Doug Williams? Like, I think there's a player personnel guy. Okay, he is. All right.
Important was it for you to have the assistant head coach title kind of on top of
Mitch Tischler?
Well, I think it's very important for a number of reasons. And the beauty of it is me and Coach Rivera will work through that. At the end of the day, Eric Bienemy is a ball coach. At the end of the day, Eric Bienemy wants to know the people who he's going to work with. Eric Bienemy wants to make sure that these guys understand that, we're going to learn to put consistent behavior on tape. All right.
Consistency.
But also understanding that when we're playing for each other and doing things for the greater good of the organization, also seeing the big picture, that this game ain't that hard. It can be a whole lot of fun. But it's going to be fun when you're making the necessary sacrifices to make each other better.
There you go.
Right? That's some of the things that I'm excited about. Those are some of the things I'm looking forward to. And so when it comes to job titles and all that, you guys got to understand, yes, I am the assistant head coach. I am the offensive coordinator. My job is to get these guys to go out and do and be the best that they can be. So that's going to be my focus right now.
Eric, Scott Abraham, ABC 7, welcome to Washington. You're a competitor at the end of the day, player, coach. You've gone through numerous interview processes.
Who asked that question?
Scott Abraham, ABC 7.
Damn, man, he talks to EB very differently than he talks to Carson Wentz, doesn't he?
Apparently, remember that conversation?
Welcome to Washington, Eric.
How does it feel that two teams didn't want you, Carson?
Damn, fuck,
Eric, how did it feel? Yeah. Kansas City didn't renew your contract.
Yeah. You notice that wasn't the tone of voice.
Well, I think social media checked him pretty good after that. I think kind of.
Well, the except for the Heineke Hive, God, they were all over that. Like, Scott Abrams asking the tough questions.
Gave him fuel.
Why don't we ask Taylor Heineke? Hey, Taylor, how come you can't throw the ball anything other than sidearm? And anytime you throw to the right, you miss your target big time. Oh, no, you don't hear that.
Over the years for various jobs. It didn't work out. How much is that serving as a motivator for you to prove those naysayers wrong, those doubters wrong, that you can be a head coach down the road and lead an offense?
So, and I'll keep saying this. Right now, I'm the offensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders. Okay, being a head coach, that's something, if that's to happen, it'll take care of itself. We've had a great deal of success. We've won, 5 straight AFC championship games, 3 out of 4 Super Bowls, 2 out of those we won. So being a head coach right now, it hasn't happened. It's not anything that's going to impact me moving forward, because the only thing I need to be concerned with, it's what's important today. Today, I got to be the best person that I can be. I got to be the best coach that I can be. And on top of that, I got to get these guys in this building to learn to trust me, to get to know me, but also understanding what the term accountability means. And so I have to be accountable to these men. All right. So all that stuff about being a head coach, we can talk about that next year sometime. Right now,
4 times.
Focus on the job.
Contentious question almost. 4.
On your response, you said the players, you need them to trust you.
Yes, sir.
How is that process? How do you get them to trust you, to buy in what you're selling?
Great question. That's about developing relationships. Okay. And you got to get to know the people. And that's one thing I think that gets lost in this profession. Just because they're professional football players don't necessarily mean you can't get to know them. These are the same guys that played high school football. These are the same guys that played college ball. These are the same guys that was drafted. I've been through that process. Okay. So at the end of the day, the only thing that you want to do is get to know the people that you're working with.
Let me ask you this question, fellas. Do you think what his comment he just said right there, they played college football, they played high school ball, I've been through that process. Do you think that relates to players as opposed to a coach who's never done those things, who grew up with their fathers being on the sidelines, but now you have a person, a coach, a player who's been through the same process. Do you think that relates a little bit more than like a?
I think that lasts a little while. I think that every now and then you need somebody who is more of a disciplinarian than someone that's just a ball coach. I think you can win both ways. I don't have a preference either or, but I think there are some negatives that go with being a player's coach versus just a coach. Just as well, there's some negatives that come from not being, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're not saying be their friend,
right?
Michael Scott. You're saying,
yeah. I mean, Joe Gibbs was like that.
A player's coach?
Well, he was a player's coach. Guys love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with anything Dev said. You can win either way. I think that it works for some players. Other players, I don't think they care less. It's a matter of okay. HR guys about to break out the HR bag. One of the biggest things is when you're going to be the leader of a team is style flex. You have to know how to reach someone on a level that they're going to respond to. Now, by all accounts, Bienemy has had some struggle with that. That's why there's a lot of guys who don't like him in the league.
It's not like position flex, right?
No, it's not like position flex.
You're talking about leadership style flex.
This is called flexing your teaching style. Now, by all accounts, I think that Bienemy's taking his approach. But he's also kind of laying it out here. This is the kind of guy I am. I'm going to relate to you. I want to get to know you, which I think that I bet you that's something he's probably picked up along the way as a coach. Get to know the players. You don't need to go through. You already can relate to all the other basic stuff. Let's get to know you, because I got to learn how you learn. I got to learn how you think, how you feel things, how you sense things.
Absolutely.
Because that's how I'm going to get through to you. All right.
Because not everyone has the same learning style.
No, this is something I've learned in managerial roles is that I used to be the kind of guy that would throw everything out there on a new employee just to see what would stick. Right? I would throw all my methods of teaching you at once and then find out how you respond. Right? That's what you do. You got to find out how this person thinks. All right? Terry McLaurin may not be as responsive to certain methods of instruction as a Jahan Dotson. So you have to learn, you communicate with Terry one way, you communicate with Jahan another way.
Hey, it's just like having kids, man. Some of the kids you got to put your hands on, some of them you don't.
That's it.
I mean,
exactly. And right now, hey, look, all these players, you're all Eric's children. Some of y'all getting the paddle.
That's right.
Some of y'all getting spanking. Some of y'all just getting loud talking to, and you get your lesson learned.
And some of y'all are gonna be taking
once
in
you get
corner
to know
and
the people. Now it gives you an opportunity to motivate and inspire. Everybody takes information different. All right, so you got to be able to objectively be able to reach them in a certain way. So that's my job.
Didn't I just say that
right now?
Hi, Eric. Heather McDonough, NBC4. Also, welcome to Washington.
Thank you.
Was it going to need to be? What was it going to need to be? I guess for you to leave Kansas City, a place that you had so much success. What kind of deal was it going to have to be? Whether it's the play calling, to leave such a great situation that you seem to be in.
It's like the fifth question.
I'll say this. In 10 years, we've had a great deal of success.
He's already over that shit.
Yeah, he is.
For the past 5 years, I've been the offensive coordinator. We've had a great deal of success. It's been 10 years. I was blessed and fortunate to have that opportunity and share that space with some amazing people. Okay. But one thing in this profession, you learn comfort is the enemy of progress. Okay. So when it's all
right there, that right there. Comfort is the enemy of progress. You got to get outside of your comfort zone if you ever want to progress in life. When you stop when you're stagnant, it's usually because you're comfortable in what you're doing.
Joe Rogan said something. I know it's gonna be so controversial for some people to hear his name, but this is actually a great piece of advice. advice. This is something I had to learn when I decided to start, stop just being a fat ass eating chips all day and binging on carby foods. And get my ass back into the gym and lifting. You have to learn to be comfortable with discomfort.
Yeah.
It's the only way you're going to move ahead. You have to learn to be
That's it.
comfortable with discomfort. And believe me, physically speaking, I live with a lot of discomfort. My shoulders are shot. My knees are shot. I'm still in the gym 4 days a week. Lifting and all that. Don't let the belly fool you. But that's such a true statement. You have to learn to be comfortable with discomfort.
Yep.
That you
say it again for the people in the back.
Learn to be comfortable with discomfort. This is how you're going to move forward in life, because progress is a series of uncomfortable things.
Comfort is the enemy of progress.
I love it.
I don't like being comfortable. So I'm about accepting challenges and moving forward. So this presents a challenge to me. All right. Also, it presents a challenge to come and work with such a great head coach and the head man. But on top of that, I'm willing to embrace this journey. Okay. And my job is to embrace this journey with the people that are in this building right now. Okay. Embrace this journey with Mr. Wright, with Mr. Mayhew, Mr. Rivera,
Fred Stokes.
all right, and Mr. Stokes, wherever he is. And there's a number of great deal of coaches on this staff. We're going to embrace this journey together, and we're going to make it happen.
Fred Stokes.
We're going to have some good days. We're going to have some bad days. But you know what? That ain't going to change our behavior. That ain't going to change our focus, and that's not going to change our determination. So we're going to focus on the prize, but we're going to focus on the prize one step, one play, and one day at a time.
Can we pause for a second?
I think another group will just real quick, ready to.
Yeah.
There's this, he's smiling throughout this whole thing. Right? Like, when he feels like he's on a roll with his words, he's smiling. Right? Like, it disappears when people ask him the same question 5, 6, 7 times in a row in just different ways. Because it's like, Jesus, people already addressed this. But then he gets back to his point. He's smiling. But it's not that, like, I'm trying to sell you that I'm happy. Like, I really think that there's an excitement about him to take on this challenge. Like, all right, the Chiefs was a good situation. I helped make it better. Here's a situation that's not quite to the level where the Chiefs were. Let's see if I want that challenge. There's something in there. Like, he is so ready to make his mark and prove a lot of people wrong, and at the same time see more success. There's this. I'm liking the fact that he's saying nothing and saying a lot all at the same time.
Right. There is
that smile he gives you. The way he's smiling lets me know. Yeah, he sees the big opportunity here, and a lot of people don't understand it. And come the end of the season, if things go his way, that smile is going to be permanent.
It's all coming to Jumbotron here. There is one thing that kind of not concerns me, but I wanted to point it out, and I think I said it in our group chat before. He mentioned something on this last clip that we just talked about one step at a time, one play at a time, one game. So he's trying to instill patience with us as fans and to the media, right? Yeah, that's what you heard too, right? Basically,
that's what he should do. That's correct. What he should do.
But the bigger picture, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, is maybe they've been reassured that they're not going anywhere if a new owner comes online. That's what I was trying to say when Ron was talking before, is maybe he's safe. Maybe they've been assured that they're safe no matter what, at least for this year, because
I definitely say for this year, but
you know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't people
for a new team?
I
don't know, but why would people if a new owner's coming next year, why would they be like, all right,
I think it's tempering expectations. Don't expect, Terry McLaurin to be Tyreek Hill immediately. Don't expect Sam Howell to be Patrick Mahomes immediately. And don't expect Brian Robinson to be Kareem Hunt immediately.
Too late.
But it's tempering expectations a little bit. Like, look, they're installing his offense. It's not Scott Turner's. You don't have a guy who's been there for 3 years, and a lot of the players know the verbiage. Everybody's learning something new here.
Yeah.
So because of that, he does have to. It's like, look, take it down a notch. We're doing something brand new, so we got to do it one step at a time, one
That's
play
fair.
at a time, one game at a time. But realistically, when you're trying to build, this is what you do.
Right.
All right. You're not in a position that you can afford to look ahead of anything except what's right in front of you.
We're not going to go into this season as a big YOLO. We got I hate to say it, it's a Kirk Cousins kind of, you got to trust the process sort of thing, but I kind of believe it when it comes out of Eric Biennemy's mouth.
Oh no, I believe it when Kirk Cousins does it too. That man's systematic as all hell. But
yeah,
no, I get what you're saying. With Eric Bienemy, he's got a process in mind.
Right.
You can already see it. All right. He knows what he wants to do. He's got enough flexibility, I hope, to make it work for what he's going to be working with. But I like that he's tempering the expectations because, hey, those of us who know how instrumental he was in Kansas City, it's easy to get too excited. And I think, oh my God, division title this year, right now, top 5 offense. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will this offense. So
can't lie though. I wish football season started tomorrow.
Same here. We got to get through.
Go, just hold yourself over with some XFL.
There you go.
No sleep till football season.
That's right.
Right, and training camp is that time when we start building together with all the blood, sweat, and tears that we're gonna share. We're gonna have good days. We have bad days. There's gonna be some days Jack Del Rio and his defense, they're gonna beat up on us.
Oof.
Okay. The only thing I want to know is how we gonna respond, okay, and handle the adversity when presented with that. That's how you measure good teams, and that's what this is about.
A, he's right. B, I like the fact that he mentioned Del Rio by name and acknowledged the fact that this defense is ahead of this offense.
Yeah, because he said it up front too. Remember?
Exactly.
He knows. Defense.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows what he's getting into. Anyone who doesn't think he doesn't know exactly what he's getting into, you know what? If you're an offensive coordinator and you know you got a great defense, you just know that you're going to get you're going to get more than your share of opportunities to get it right on offense
and play into each other's strengths.
Control the ball.
What a noble concept.
Like I said, I'm ready to embrace this journey. I'm fired up. I'm excited about this moment. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it.
Eric David Aldridge with the Athletic.
Mr. Aldridge.
Yes, sir. Aldridge. Welcome to DC, my man. What are your non-negotiables as an offensive coach, as a coordinator with your players?
Lack of details. And understand this. I say that, and nothing is ever perfect. Okay. But one thing that's very important to me is learning to make second effort a habit. So if you can't play with any effort, I got a personal problem with that because it requires no God-given ability to play with second effort.
No God-given.
And I'll say this once again. All right. Everybody in this league gets paid. And you don't necessarily always have to win pretty. If you go in and fight for 60 minutes and you're straining to finish and you're willing to make that necessary block downfield as a receiver to spring a back, or the back is necessarily picking up a blitz ready to fight him and put hands on him until the echo of the whistle and giving the quarterback an opportunity to throw it downfield, that's what it's about. Okay. But we got to learn to like each other. We got to learn to embrace the process, but also too, we got to learn to strain to finish. If you've ever wanted anything in life, you got to fight for it. And that's one thing we're going to learn to do. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily always have to be pretty, because when it's all said and done with, the only two alphabets that matter is a W or an L.
That's what it is. A W and L. He said it doesn't require any God-given ability to give a secondary effort. Play hard. Play to the win.
I'm gonna tell you why this one hits home with me so hard. All right. My high school that I went to was the third smallest high school in the state of Virginia when I was there. And they went to 3 state semifinals in 4 years. right? When you have that shallow of a student body, you have that shallow of a talent pool. This was not a team. These teams that we had were not super talented, super athletic, but nobody. I say this with all honesty. I came from a school where they had great teams and lots of talent to this school when I came down to Virginia. I've never been around a group of people who worked harder. I mean, come on. We ran with two guards. Our starting guards were 6'2", 140 and 6'2", 160. They should have been blown off the line just off of sheer lack of stoutness. But they hit you like you said something about their mother. That's effort. That's drive. That's determination. That's imposing your will on the opposing player. That speaks so much to me because I'm not a natural athlete, never have been. But if I'm on that field, you're getting 150% of my effort. All right. And I always conditioned myself that I could give as much effort in the fourth quarter as I could in the first.
So y'all were a bunch of Rudies.
Bunch of them. But you know what? And by the way, threw the ball 4 times a game.
So it was a grind.
We ran 32 dive, 31 dive, 30 dive, 30 wham, 32 wham.
Wishbone, I.
We ran power I.
Power I.
1 receiver, 1 tight end, 3 backs.
That's right. Love it.
And we ran. I mean, seriously, it's funny. They do this thing, Coaches Talk, on the Friday night football show after the news. And all these coaches have these plays. They talk about. They bring a coach in and they diagram their bread and butter play. Ours was 32 dive.
32 dive.
And you know what? You want to talk about how do you win 10 games a year out of 12 or 13, running the same damn play 25, 30 times a game? Yeah. You do it because you're putting in effort, work. This is something he's really, really, really touching on such a basic root part of being successful in anything.
Yep.
But especially in a game like football. This is such basic stuff. And I think sometimes when you get professional, you forget that because now you're getting paid big money, right? You got other things to worry about. You got investments. You got family. You got friends. You got to get back to the real raw basics, all right? You go out there and you spend 60 minutes and you throw the hardest punch you can into the guy in front of you's mouth every single time. God, this...
Yeah. Let's go.
This is the kind of, okay, I know a lot of players don't like him. If I were a player, this is the kind of guy I would go just balls out.
Run through a wall for you.
Oh, yeah.
All that matters.
I'd Hulk smash.
I don't care how we get it, as long as we find a way to get it together.
Also, who taught you about the importance of accountability?
Say that one more time, excuse me.
Who taught you about the importance of accountability?
Ooh, that's something I've learned throughout my entire career. You know, as a player, have an opportunity to be a personal protector on punt team. Okay. Also, as a player, having to protect the quarterback on third down.
Pass pro.
Also, as a player, just taking tape home to study. All right. And on top of that, just always not wanting to get the quarterback hit. So accountability, you know, indirectly, we all impact each other's lives. Okay. And it's one thing that I learned as a player that I really didn't think about, you know, when I was going through it, but I learned it, how important it was to be accountable to players. But the older I got, I also learned it was important to be accountable to coaches, because if you take work home and you're investing into your particular assignment or your particular job, it says a lot about you and your character, because when you're doing that, you're helping taking care of my family. Okay. Yeah. And my job is to make sure that I'm investing, doing all the little things necessary, studying tape, studying at home, making sure that I'm providing you guys the right information so you can be at your best. And I think sometimes that gets lost. So I learned that many moons ago when
Do you think Kyler Murray would take offense to that?
Yeah.
With all the reported video games that he supposedly is playing.
So
maybe?
let's stop for a second here. Bienemy played 9 years in the league, right?
Yeah.
As a backup running back, a disposable position. Now, how do you make a 9-year career when you're 5'7", and at the time 207 pounds? I don't care if it was 91 when he started. That's small then.
Rudy.
You find a way to become valuable.
You
Be value
create
added.
value, and you can only create that value if you're not super talented. He wasn't enough to be a consistent starter. He only started one game his entire career. But by the way, out of 66 possible games, I think it's 66, he only missed 2.
He was on the Saints. I remember him being on the Saints.
No,
I don't remember that
It was
either.
on the Chargers, the
Chargers.
Bengals, and the Eagles.
I remember those.
I'm trying to remember Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl is on the
thinking
Chargers.
of
I remember
Greg
the Chiefs, I'm
Hayward.
sure, right?
34, Craig Hayward. Maybe that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, Hammerhead Hayward.
Steel Hammer.
Oh, Ironhead.
Yeah, Ironhead Hayward.
But I mean, you look at it, none of his stats blow you away. I mean, he in a 9-year career, he ran for 1,500 yards. Right, his best season was with the Bengals in 95, 98 carries, 381 yards.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 backs on our team put up more than that.
Sure did.
Right, but he wasn't a great receiver either. I mean, he had a couple. He had 1 year with 43 catches. The rest of the time, it's 32, 31, 27, 5, 2. I mean, 146 receptions in his career, and and 1,500 and 387 carries. But he made himself valuable. He returned kicks when asked to. He was a gunner on special teams, third down back as far as being a pass protector. He filled in all those little niche roles.
Yep.
And if you're not the most talented guy, we got to be the guy with the most effort. And that's one thing he always had a reputation of as a player. Like, he was just that dude who always found a way to do just that little extra that you didn't expect from him.
Yeah.
So,
you know the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is?
That little extra.
A little something extra.
Bro, I've had enough of these damn meetings like you have.
That was my waiting reference.
you always envision it in a different way, but like I said, I've been there for 10 years. I've accomplished a lot of things there. It was a great organization. It was a great time. There was a lot of family that has been made there. But now it's about broadening my circles, okay, and expanding and getting to know my new family.
Yeah.
Okay, and having an impact in helping
Yep.
this team and this organization to accomplish goals and things that we want to strive for.
Drinking Bud Light, I see it.
You learn how to focus, all right? But you got to be able to process it. You got to put it in a different category. So did I have a plan? Yes, I did. Okay. But that wasn't going to impact anything that we were looking to strive for throughout the course of the past season. All right. It did not become a distraction. But when it was all said and done with, when it was time to move on, it was time for me to go and accept this new challenge and embrace it.
Coach
Yes, sir.
Bienemy, Darren Haynes, WSN9,
Darren Haynes.
to Washington, D.C.
Good guy.
It's been well documented that you wanted to be a head coach, but I want you to describe that moment when you made that decision, where you were when you decided, I'm going to come to D.C.
Well, it was shortly after the Super Bowl. We had got everything arranged, and I was ready. Now, obviously, it was throughout that process, and the past 2 weeks has been physically and emotionally draining, and in a good way, all right? Because we went from winning a Super Bowl to coming back, flying back in town, getting acclimated, going through exit meetings, and then going through the parade. But I knew when I landed back in Kansas City what was in store. So I knew that it was time. to move on. So you're talking.
So that tells me right there, because Ron Rivera came off the Andy Reid tree. Him and Andy Reid are close. So there was no secret. I am sure him and Andy Reid had multiple conversations about taking this position. And I would be willing to bet that it was already a done deal before the Super Bowl ever kicked off.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to come here before most of y'all even thought he was going to interview here. Right. That's how far behind we are in this information, people.
Yeah.
When we find out stuff, it's well after we find out that they're considering a decision well after the decision has been made.
What a breath of fresh air that is. We usually find shit out before the coaches did, like hell. He was like, "Hey man, what do you think about Alex Smith being our new quarterback, Coach Gruden?" Huh?
What?
Who?
Oh man, good pull, Dev. I totally forgot about that one. How did you find out about Alex? Social media. You guys are telling me right now.
I think Kirsten went and asked him. Hell.
Oh, Jay Gruden's the gift that keeps on giving.
I was over at Kirk's house, and all of a sudden he was saying he was going to move. I didn't know
about the different waves of emotions that I experienced. Just having that opportunity just to say goodbye to the players, spending that time throughout the parade of just feeling the emotions from the fans. And so I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and this is why I'm here. But one thing you guys have learned about me, yes, I'm very appreciative and thankful and grateful for the opportunity that was presented. But on top of that, okay, when I knew I was getting on that plane, I knew exactly what was going to take place.
Oh, he just confirmed.
Since Ron Rivera took over, has had some ups and downs, and Coach Rivera has definitely has this team trending up. What made you choose Washington despite all of that?
Like I said, okay, you guys have gotten to know Coach Rivera for the past few years. Coach Rivera is a man of integrity. Okay, he's a great leader of men. Who wouldn't want that opportunity to come and work for a man of such high character? So this is why I'm here. And then I'll say this again. I'm not afraid of a challenge.
Pause it,
okay?
man.
I've had 10 years of...
God damn it. Hey, man. Eric B understood the motherfucking assignment, bro. I mean, that's all I wanted to say. When they told him we had a press conference today, he understood the motherfucking assignment, bro.
Put you in the Jumbotron. Say it again.
Hey, Eric B, you understood it was like Suge Knight at the Source Music Awards, man. Welcome to Death Row. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
He understood the assignment, man.
He sure did.
Here's the thing. I know a lot of our fans have they want Ron fired immediately. Eric B is sitting here telling you, nah, man.
This guy got me. I'm here for Ron. That's what I took from that.
Other people haven't believed in me. Ron's believed in me.
Right.
I've known Ron for over 20 years.
Right.
Y'all have been known him for a couple.
You're getting a pay grade, no more responsibility, more power.
So if Bienemy's Eric B, is Ron Kim? Eric B and Ron Kim.
Ron Kim. Eric B and Ron Kim. Boom.
Success with the Kansas City Chiefs. I said it before, I say it again. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Okay. You can't be afraid of leaving a great situation to help yourself to grow and expand. All right. And then on top of that,
that was me. Just left my current job of 8 years. Shout out EB. Motivate me.
Always got to be willing to expand your circles. All right. To expand your family members, to remain flexible in how you see and view things. And so this presents a whole entire new challenge that I'm willing to embrace, but also excited about it because I know the potential that's here. And I know that's a dangerous word. Okay. But I know the potential that's here. All right. So yeah, I'm fired up. I'm excited.
Hey, Eric. JP Finley, NBC4, 106.7 fan. A lot of your former players, both after the Super Bowl, Mahomes and Kelsey, Tyreek Hill this past week came out and said how you pushed them to become better players and better men. How do you, I mean, you're talking different people, different positions, different players. How do you know when to push, when to prod, when to pull back? How do you figure that out?
Well, it goes back to just what I was just discussing. You have to get to know the people. Okay. You got to develop relationships with the people. Once upon a time, I was a high school player. Once upon a time, I was a collegiate player. And once upon a time, I was a professional ball player. But the thing that I had that I thought every coach did a great job of was that they did a great job of getting to know me. Okay. And so these guys, nothing has changed. All right. It's my job to continue developing those relationships, because when I was a college coach, you had to get to know the guys. You had to go out and spend time with them and getting to know their family members. So what's changed? The only thing that's changed is, hell, they stepped up another level. Okay, they're getting paid for it. No, well, everybody's getting paid now in college. Hell. But these are the same young men, all right, that were being recruited. And so the dynamics of the relationships and how you build relationships and establish relationships with people, that does not change. It's about sitting down and getting to know the people.
There's no way he's not going to install Andy Reid's offense, right? He is not going to keep Scott Turner's offense. There's no way.
He's not keeping Scott Turner's offense.
The one thing
he'll put his own stamp on it.
The one thing I'm gonna tell y'all to be worried about. I remember the feeling after the Albert Haynesworth press conference.
Yeah.
I remember how the feeling was. I can't wait for football to start. Albert Haynesworth nailed everything, every question. Albert Haynesworth was awesome.
And then look,
I remember that, man. Just saying.
But Haynesworth,
temper our expectations. Is that way?
Yeah. Obviously,
Haynesworth, though, we knew he had some. He had the potential to be great, and we also knew he had the potential to stomp on a dude's head.
Yeah, 60% of that situation.
And then we put him in the 3-4.
I still think Shanahan was 60% in that situation, man.
And then he failed. And then he failed his conditioning test because he had to take a shit.
Motherfucker shouldn't even have to do a conditioning test. It's stupid.
That's like telling Trent Williams to go do a conditioning test.
Hey man, yeah.
But he failed. He failed it.
Hey Lamar, you got to
run
your 40 like you did your rookie season right putting you on the field.
Let's be real. He failed it 8 days in a row. Lindsey Zarniak passed the damn test.
Man.
He can't.
Lindsey Zarniak's in good shape. No, Lindsey Zarniak's in pretty good shape.
But she's not a professional athlete.
Lindsey Zarniak's in pretty good shape, man. I'm sure she goes to a gym. I'm pretty sure she has a physical trainer.
All right, we got 3 minutes left of this interview. Let's wrap it up.
We're gonna do whatever the hell it takes to win. That's all that matters. Okay. And one thing you guys are gonna hear me talk about, I'm not a numbers guy. Okay. You can go back and do all your research and look at all the press conferences I've done.
Numbers.
I'm not concerned with numbers. I can care less what a runner rushes for. I can care less what a quarterback throws for. I can care less about what stats a receiver or a tight end may have receiving. The only thing that matters is did we win or did we lose? So we're going to play complimentary football. We're going to do whatever the hell it takes for us to be victorious. That's all that matters. And if we're doing it the right way, guess what? The numbers will take care of itself.
Victorious.
Preach.
Hey, Eric.
Understood the assignment, bro.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you said you're focused on the moment. You're not worried about the past or the future. I think a lot of your supporters, though, are not quite caught up to there yet. There's still people who are upset that you were not given the opportunity to be a head coach and don't love the journey to this point. What do you say to those people who are still fighting the fight of why you should be a head coach?
Well, I'll say this, and kudos to them, and everybody's entitled to their own stance and their own positioning. My job is to eliminate all the distractions.
That's right.
Okay. My focus right now is here and now. I can't worry about the things I can't control. The only thing I can worry about right now is taking care of the business at hand. That's handling this press conference. After this press conference, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to start getting to some football stuff. The rest of everything else, as far as this journey is concerned, that will take care of itself along the line.
Get him, EB.
Congratulations. Andy Reid being one of those people who's been one of your supporters. What did Andy and Patrick Mahomes do to kind of make you a better coach and put you in position to succeed here?
Patrick Mahomes.
Well, my relationship with Coach Reid goes back a number of years. It goes back to when he was recruiting.
Question.
In Southern California, and him playing against some of my high school coaches. So I've known about Coach Reid for a number of years, and Coach Reed has had a huge impact on my career. Obviously, I had an opportunity to play for him, but he's a consistent individual. He's a creative mind. The thing that he's done a great job of is getting me to see the big picture with everything. And he was just an outstanding person, and sometimes like a father figure you can go and talk to, but also too, he wore that head coach title for a reason. I can't tell you how many times he threatened to fire me. So I've taken him to that point at times. But he's taught me more importantly about consistency. And that's probably the most thing that I can speak highly of more than anything. Coach Reed is the same person that you saw when he walked in that building in 1999 with the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's the same person today in 2023.
Like it.
That's not a compliment.
Thank you, guys.
And that concludes the press conference. Not bad, huh?
I'm in.
Not bad. So
I'm in.
Dev, final thoughts. What do you think? Did we get a thumbs up, thumbs down?
He talks the talk very well, bro. And I mean, he's walked it at least for 6 years straight. So I'm not until he does it. I'm gonna say he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna believe in what this guy has to say until he shows me otherwise. I haven't seen anything to show me that he's anything less than advertised. It's like having Brian Mitchell, fucking offensive coordinator. But yeah, I like Bienemy. I've always liked Bienemy. It's just that I always felt like, man, what's going on? Why ain't this guy getting a job? There's guys that don't get jobs or don't call plays. Pittsburgh has a black coach that never called plays, man. It's got one of the best coaches in the league, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can't use that as a total excuse.
I can tell you why. All right. I think that Bienemy's kind of matured with age. He's one of the things he was known for as a player and early on as a coach is that he was a love him or hate him kind of guy. Those who loved him, loved him. Those
What's
who hated
the
him,
guy's name with the Tennessee?
hated him like badly. Like he could rub people the wrong way big time. And I can see where a younger version of a guy like that walks into an interview, completely rubs the people in the room the wrong way. You don't get the job. But I think that when you do that enough times, you begin to realize, the common denominator is me. Maybe I need to kind of reevaluate how I go about these things, And
what was the coach's name that went to Florida from the Raiders? What was the young Tennessee jumped back and forth? The coach,
Mike Vrabel?
No, young guy, man. He looked like Gruden, but he wasn't. He went to Alabama, be the OC. Man, y'all know what I'm talking about. He kept stealing recruits.
Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, Lane Kiffin. Remember how Lane Kiffin would just rub people the wrong way everywhere he went? Like that's why I'm saying it's not. I can't solely say unless what you're telling me is because he's black. You know what I'm saying? This is put it out there. Because he's black, you can't get away with that kind of shit. I would believe that. I would accept that as an acceptable answer. Except all I'm saying is Pittsburgh has a coach just like that who didn't call plays. He's kind of outspoken. Got a job. You can't tell me the Rooneys are the only non-racist owners in the NFL. Man. Are the Rooneys the only people that like niggas in the whole NFL? I honestly, like it can't be the case. And Washington.
Is Ron the first
Hispanic
head coach?
Black is the black as the NBA. Like when you want to be in the NBA, you join Washington. That's the blackest team in the league right now.
Let me tell you this. Okay, you brought that up. The first Hispanic coach in the NFL was Tom Flores.
Yeah.
Of the Raiders, which is funny because he was replaced by Art Shell, the first black head coach.
Shell.
So,
the Rooneys and the Raiders are the only.
I don't have an Asian head coach.
Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I have no Asian head coach.
Steve,
You're right.
Steve,
we're stuck in the room doing
that job as anyone.
Hold on.
The other day, totally random. I don't mean to pivot, but I was thinking about a random, Asians in the NFL, and what came into my mind? You guys remember Dat Wynn?
Yeah.
The linebacker from Texas A&M. He was too small. He had the London Fletcher vibe going for a while, and then eventually he just had injuries he couldn't come back from. But yeah, totally random.
Norman Yin King Chow, man. For the Helvetic
Eugene
Stars,
Chung.
a Euro
Eugene
League
Chung out of
football.
Miami was a good left tackle for a hot second, but
Norm Chow.
yeah, didn't
Young
last.
Wei Koo.
Young Wei kicker. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's about where it ends. But
on that note, but yeah, so I think
well, hold on.
Eugene-
That's because
Eugene
Asians still all play baseball.
Is Eugene
Yes.
Chung? What about the Chung that played for New England?
Eugene Chung was the
Chung.
tackle from Miami. I don't remember where he played. He
No,
could
not the safety that played for New
Patrick
England.
Chung?
Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah,
Chung.
that dude
Eugene
was-
Chung was the
That dude
other
was black. I don't think he had
guy. Is he like Hachimura black though? Like Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
Like Tyson Bedford?
Tiger Woods is Kablan Asian.
First off, what is he doing with the name Chung? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
He's Jamaican.
I mean, what's Harold's middle name doing Devontae? I mean, it happens.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Samuel Devontae Harold.
No.
Howard.
So Patrick, I got it right here. Patrick's father is named Ronald Chung, is of Chinese descent.
There
But
you go.
It's not his paternal father.
No, so he was adopted by Asian people.
He came over with his mom. His mom basically
Is Asian? His
at
mom
the
is
time
Asian?
recording Sophia worked as a teacher of hearing impaired. She married her manager Ronald Chung, with whom she relocated to Miami. Yeah,
So he's half Chinese.
I don't think he is.
Sounds like his daddy is Chinese. His mama went to China, married a Chinese dude, had him.
Yeah, I don't know. Wikipedia is not making it very clear.
Yeah. Jon Snow. No, knows, man. We're gonna find one of you guys in there. No offense.
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy
Lin
Lin,
Sanity.
yeah. Hey, he's
But no,
good.
I think we're all excited to see Eric Bienemy become our offensive coordinator. It's going to be a fun ride, and we can't really start talking football yet. Franchise tag windows upon us.
Hines Ward, Asian.
Hines Ward, also a good
Teddy
good player
Bruschi.
for the Steelers. Teddy Bruschi.
Taylor Route.
They're out
Hey,
there.
Brewski was part Asian.
I don't know. He could have been.
Yeah, he's Asian.
I thought he was just a total Guido.
No.
Looks. Yeah, Bruschi, Italian. That's some Italian. I don't know.
It was spelled like it was like some kind of product you make out of ham.
I know. On Monday, coming up, we have one of our friends from the Pigskin Podcast Network coming to join us. We're going to be talking about their impressions of Eric Bienemy, having lived through being Chiefs fans for a very long time, and they're going to give us a whole rundown on Eric Bienemy, what they think of him, his tendencies, how he will do in Washington, what's their thoughts on losing him, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it'd be a good episode. Please stay tuned for that one coming up out on Monday. But this was something new for us, reacting to some videos. Please leave us a comment. Let us know how you feel about it. How did it go? Did we do well? Leave your comments. Let us know what you thought about Eric Bienemy down in the chat below. We're excited to hear back from you. And you can always find this podcast on any audio platform: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Odyssey, anywhere you get your audio podcasts from. You can find
Teddy Bruschi is Filipino, by the way.
Filipino. Okay, there you go.
Asian.
Did not know that. I would thought I was with you, Phil. I thought he would have been Italian.
Which I was weird about, like Asian Filipinos, because all Filipinos have Hispanic names to me, like Manny.
They do. There's a
They were
huge
settled
Spanish
by the
influence.
Spanish.
The conquistadors. There's a huge Spanish influence in the Philippines.
Really crazy.
There's Spanish influence. There's Indian influence. There's Chinese influence. The Philippines is just a huge mixing bowl.
There's an American influence too.
And American influence too. Yes, after World War II, huge American influence out there.
Well, actually, it was after the Spanish-American War. So that's one of the things. Not only did we liberate Cuba, we took the Philippines as well. Because you know what? Fuck them.
Sucked up, man.
We'll take that.
By the way, people, yes, I'm a history buff too.
I'll take that. All right, fellas. Any shout outs before we close out this?
Shout out to my daughter, man. Alyssa Perry. She's a cheerleader for Arizona University. She is qualified for the national championships in California. They start tomorrow, man. So check that out. Maybe on ESPNU or ESPN2 or something like that. So check that out. She should be on there cheerleading, or I guess drill team dancing, or whatever they call it, dance teaming, something like that. So check that out.
So she's in a drill music competition.
Well, I think it's I think tomorrow they're doing what's the one where you just get that big ass mat and run across the stunts or whatnot?
Yeah.
So I think
I know what you're talking about. I just had to make the drill music joke.
It's just stunts, man. She's out there doing that. So
good stuff.
She going up against Chief Keef?
Before I give Phil the mic, I do want to give a shout out to the Pick Game Podcast Network and DraftKings. Because we didn't do it earlier, we're going to do it now. Let's give you a quick, hot second to win some money. Stay tuned.
The action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer. With tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports, you can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season like never before. Plus, right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all the major action for baseball, golf, MMA, and more, plus same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, over-unders, and props. Your betting options feel endless. Now that football's over, it's now on to the NBA and Major League Baseball. That's right, that's what I'm looking forward to. But best of all, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. Make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code TPPN, Tango Papa Papa November. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Hey, we want to thank you for tuning into the video today. We had some technical difficulties at the end where we couldn't all three finish, but we really appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a historic event for us. We're super excited to have Eric Bienemy as our new offensive coordinator. We hope you guys enjoyed the press conference. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please give us a like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. We couldn't ask for much better to be kicking it with you guys. I know this is pre-recorded, but stay tuned. We'll be back on live next week. As always, peace and hail. We out. Hey, tune in on Monday. We got some Chiefs fans coming. Let's go.